warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adil Mazal Zwaka. My ID student 2018444148. Okay, now we go to introduction. An act to promote and maintain industrial harmony and to regulate relation between employees and their trade unions. It is also very important to prevent and resolve any difference or dispute that arise in their mutual relation. For example, regarding overtime payroll payments. Also is to deal with trade disputes and other things that arise from their relationship. Second, it provides for the avoidance and resolution of any dispute that may arise between employer and trade union. The general resolution of trade dispute and other issues. We will get an overview of national industrial relations system. Today, we are about to discuss the Local Industrial Relations Act 1970 on the responsibility of employee and their trade unions as stipulated in Section 7. And now, we will be able to understand the responsibility in the Section 7 of Industrial Relations Act 1967.
My name is Muhammad Asnawi bin Muhammad Jamsari. The first responsibilities of employee and their trade unions as stipulated in the Section 7 of Industrial Relations Act 1967 is in Section 7, except with the consent of the employer, persuade at the employer's place or business during working hours a workman of the employer to join or refrain from joining a trade union. Persuade is to convince someone to do or believe something by providing a compelling argument for them to do so, or by speaking to that person and convincing them to believe it. Persuading employees to join the trade union means convincing them that joining the trade union will provide them with numerous benefits, while influencing our workers not to enter or abstain from entering a trade union involves persuading them that entering a trade union will result in various drawbacks. Persuading employees to join a trade union is not improper, but it becomes wrong when done during working hours and interfere with the employee's tasks. This problem often arises because trade union members frequently convince other workers to join the trade union during working hours. This is due to the fact that they only interact with the other employees during working hours. This will have an impact on their routine tasks. There are several methods of influencing individuals to join trade unions. The very first step is to communicate the financial consideration. For example, increased earning. Unionized employees make 11.2% more than a non-unionized person with much the same degree, vacation and experience in working in the same sector. This compensation benefit is known as the union wage premium. The second reason is to protect those rights. Workers expect their union to defend their rights and to safeguard them against abuse and unequal treatment at employment. Millions of employees rely on unions to secure and improve maternity, paternity and career leave. Unionized firms in the United Kingdom, for example, are far more likely to have maternity and career leave policies that are more generous than the statutory minimum. This is also effective in influencing other workers to refrain or cease from forming a trade union in the workplace during working hours. There are various reasons why people are persuaded not to join a trade union. The first reason is that some unions charge their members money. The fact that union dues are withheld from a worker's salary is a major disadvantage. For most circumstances, it will lead in a wage cut ranging from 1.5 to 2.5%. These fees can reduce or negate whatever pay gain the employees would have earned by transferring position. Second, labor unions impede innovation. Although if they disapprove with the union's decision, they are bound by them. In some circumstances, the only option out of unionized employees' predicament is to quit, which is not always an option. Workers may struggle to be advanced or sacked if they are organized by a union. The experience of a worker is greatly regarded in unions. This typically leads to a scarcity of possibilities for new and high-performing employees to advance. Similarly, it is difficult to demote or employees who aren't performing properly. This limitation, nevertheless, doesn't really hold if the convincing was performed by a worker at the same rank and in a fashion that did not engage with his respective jobs. This means that if a person is in the same workspace as the action of the influence and it is not impeding with his job, the rule is unlikely to apply. This limitation will apply when the influence is exceptionally radical and pervasive, culminating in an influence on the organization output or operation. Furthermore, the legislation states, save with the agreement of the employer, that if the act of the persuading is approved by the employer, the ban will not also be enforced.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aidil Zahar bin Usaimi. I'm from class M4AM 105B. Today I will talk about the intimidate any person to become or refrain from becoming or to continue to be or to choose to be a member or officer of a trade union. Certain activity involving employee and trade union are prohibited under Section 7 of the Industrial Relations Act of 1967. Various prohibition exist to protect both employee and employer interests. It is illegal to intimidate a person into becoming, continuing to be, or choosing to be a trade union member or official, or to detain a person from becoming, continuing to be a stopping to be a trade union member or official. This is an attempt to defend a person's right to select what they want to do with their life. This act illustrates that others cannot take away person's right to choose, but it is a decision that must be respected because it is a personal decision. Intimidation is an act that aims to influence a person, and it will cause in the person's mind to feel anxiety in their mind, which cause them to worry about the injury they will face if they rejecting the offer. This will make it a concern to them as well because they feel there is a threat to the safety of the family or the occurrence of property damage. This can also have a bad effect on individual and is also seen as one of the traits that can be dangerous because it hinder their freedom. Among the responsibility that need to be carried out by employee is that employee should be responsible in performing their work and should work according to set standard. Therefore, employee need to have a trustworthy nature in their work, whether it is related to personal matter related to society. Therefore, if employee fail to carry out the responsibility with trust, there is an act that can protect the welfare of employer of the right of the employer in order to ensure that employee who do not trust receive a punishment commensurate with the offers commit. Therefore, the responsibility of trade union also play a role by creating channel that connect between employer and employee. This is very important because it can provide understanding between employee and employer to be good, where employer and employee can talk to inform the problem they need to solve to maintain in the quality of the enterprise. Apart from that, it can also be seen that trade unions are responsible for holding activities that have the potential to improve the knowledge and skill of its member. It also serves to improve the skill of trade union member to ensure personal development as well as good knowledge and skill. This can make the member more effective in carry out his duties. Therefore, with employees who are able to work effectively, it will further reduce the pressure on employers. Therefore, it can be seen that trade union and employee need to play their role in order to ensure that the responsibility enshrined in Section 7 of the Industrial Relations Act 1967 that because this given responsibility has great implication in enterprise. They also make the prohibition in Section 7 which involve the Industrial Relations Act 1967 has a positive effect if all parties comply with the existing prohibition. Thank you.
The Section 7 of Industrial Relations Act of 1967 was enacted to encourage and keep industrial peace and to regulate relations between companies, employees and their trade union. It also involved the prevention and resolution of any disagreement or conflict that may arise because of their relation, as well as the general handling of trade dispute and related issues. Several provisions exist to protect employees and employers' rights. It's illegal to induce any person to refrain from becoming or cease to be a member or officer of a trade union by conferring or offering to confer of any person or by procuring or offering to procure any advantage. Nothing or no one can stop a person from joining a trade union. It's because it's our right to choose what the best for us. The question, can someone prevent us to join trade union? Every employee has the right under the law to join a trade union and it engaged in lawful union operation. It is unlawful for an employer to take measures to stop an employee from exercising this freedom, whether it be at the time of hiring, throughout employment, or after termination. When someone tries to discourage or stop you from joining a trade union or participation in lawful trade union activity, you should report them, such as by threatening you with the loss of benefit or offering you benefit in exchange for not joining. You should get legal advice as soon as possible. The trade union will be get in a good position to resolve the situation, especially by offering you something to not to join trade union, for example with money, offering you promote your position. It can be considered as corruption for trying to offer to procure any advantage to influence any decision. What is induce? Induce can be defined as act to lead or move influence as some action or state of mind. This means that everything that is done or decision made by a person has been influenced by something or someone. Induce any person to refrain from becoming or cease to be a member or officer of a trade union by offering any advantage means a person try to convince someone to not to join trade union. This problem here we can see when someone trying to convince someone not to join trade union by offering various benefits. Among the benefits they offer is to provide cash or position to stop someone from joining a trade union. Certainly, with the cash or position offered, make a person think irrationally and influence the decision they make. Many people will be more likely to choose money or position than join a trade union that actually offer more benefit to the employees. This is important of Section 7 of the Industrial Relations Act of 1967 to protect the right of a person to be free to choose or make decisions without being influenced by anything. Why do we say that joining a trade union is better than choosing money? It is because joining a trade union will make us gain various benefits. Employers across the world recognize that collaborating with trade union can bring several advantages to its organization. Employees can benefit from the existence of trade union by achieving their goals. For example, to trust among the workforce, employees and employer can communicate through unions, which contribute to the development of trust and commitment among employees. Maybe we will be a little distracted by the money or position offer given by, but if we look more broadly, what benefit we will get when joining a trade union is worth it if we must compare with the money that can be spent in a short time and position that can be replaced at any time. For conclusion, Section 7 of the Industrial Relations Act of 1967 very important to us protect our right to choose what the best for us.
Okay, now we add conclusion. As conclusion, a right is something that a person or party is entitled to, as well as a legal and legitimate activity of acceptance of certain items. It is to regulate the relationship between the employer and employee and their trade unions to avoid and resolve any difference or problem that may arise of relation and generally to deal with the trade dispute and related matter. There are a few important things out of implementation of Section 7 of the Industrial Relations Act 1967, which is to carry out an implement role. The second is to spend union funds, and the third is to combine, join, and unite with one or more registered union. And the most important is to promote and maintain the harmony of the company.